This is Cougar News.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Cougar News. I'm Timitai Oshalesi, and here's the latest from the Cougar Newsroom. A man is now in custody after shooting and killing one deputy and injuring another in Lancaster mid-Wednesday. Sergeant Steve Owen, a 29-year-old veteran of the Los Angeles Sheriff Department, died after he and another deputy responded to reports of a burglary in the 3200 block of West Avenue 90J7 around noon. While deputies were containing the scene, gunfire was heard on the other side of the complex, and the deputy rushed over to find Owen had been shot. The suspect attempted to flee the scene by taking off in Owen's patrol car, but backed into another patrol car. The suspect then escaped on foot into another building near Antelope Valley College. Two teens were in that building and were removed safely from the scene. The suspect is now in custody. During this time, Owen was taken to a local hospital where he was later pronounced dead. This past Monday, the owner of the popular Santa Clarita restaurant Margaritas was found stabbed to her death in her Saugus home. Paramedics arrived at the home of Maria Acevedo at 1:06 a.m. and pronounced her dead at 1:08. Later that day, Jesse Lucatero, Maria's son, arrested after a short foot pursuit outside the Westfield Valencia Town Center Mall,
twice that I know of, he was outside completely naked and acting kind of in a crazy manner. So we didn't know if it was drugs or mental illness or what it was. And both times the police came.
Jesse Lucatero pleaded guilty today in court. Cybersecurity is always a hot topic. Betty Varela has an update.
The hacked Yahoo accounts could be more than what they initially told us. It took Yahoo 2 years before they told the public about the largest hack attack on them ever. Yahoo claimed that 500 million people were affected. The Business Insider claimed that it was actually 1 to 3 billion people's accounts that were hacked into, leaving many people wondering if their account has been hacked. Next time you log into your email, someone else could be logging in with you.
So whether you use Yahoo, Gmail, or any other mail, you might want to change your passwords. Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Betty Varela.
This election season has brought special attention to young voters. They have the potential to possibly sway the election. Here's more.
With the presidential race coming to an end, young voters can make history, making up for 56% of the eligible voting population.
I'm not obsessed about it. I'm aware. I know what's going on. I think both candidates suck, but, I'm aware of what's going on.
However, after talking to a few young voters, it might be politics as usual.
People who have my opinions aren't old enough to vote yet, so I feel like my voice isn't heard.
No, it isn't. No, I feel that it isn't, and that's why I'm taking part of the political process in order to not just make my voice heard, but heard for all of the people around my age too.
I don't think so. I don't really think every person's vote matters, but I'm still gonna do it though.
However, some believe that voters are not being reached on the right platform.
That person's on their phone. If we meet people where they are naturally placed, which is online, that might open up some new results, right? Make it available electronically.
Still not sure who to vote for? The COC presidential panel can help you make the tough decision. Tim Strong has more.
Professor Andrews and Professor Gusson, but Professor Andrews is clearly right.
Everyone has questions and concerns about the upcoming election, so the COC Political Science Department held the first of 2 presidential election panels to help both students and staff understand this election season.
From across the political spectrum, you should read people who don't reflect the views that you personally hold, and you should do that regularly.
The panel held in Boynton Hall included 4 prominent COC political science professors, like Department Chairman David Andrews, Dr. Deems Maroney, Dr. Phil Gusson, and Dr. Majed
But
Mosley.
what do we do? How do we address the concerns of millions and millions of American...
The panel covered several topics relating to the presidential race, from the first debate to where the panel saw the country 4 years from now.
It's inconceivable to me that he would go ahead and he would try and fashion deals between Democrats and Republicans to move forward on particular set of issues.
One of the main topics covered was the mass media's influence on the election and voters. Cougar News spoke to Dr. Phil Gusson on the importance of students doing their own research.
It's extremely important to have a wide variety of news sources when you go ahead and you're trying to decide how to vote, and even just staying in touch with politics in general. Anytime you're relying on any one kind of source of information, you put yourself in a position where you can be manipulated or you can be misinformed, and maybe not purposely, but accidentally become misinformed if the person who's communicating the news to you is wrong on a fact. But if you don't go anywhere else to look for them, you'll never know. So I think it's important for everybody, older people, younger people, to go ahead and look at multiple sources of news and then try and figure out which one speaks to you and which one seems most credible. Absolutely.
Students should be on the lookout for the next political science panel, which will be held after the next presidential debate. For Cougar News, I'm Tim Strong.
The College of the Canyons held an autism event honoring autistic student Robert Knoll. He spoke on his autism and the challenges he's faced. Thais has more.
College of the Canyons put together a small event called Living with Autism, where COC autistic student Robert Knoll speaks on being autistic. He opens up to sharing personal stories, what he's learned about being autistic, and how it doesn't stop him from being a great COC student.
Ooh, what are you doing? I'm taking off my hearing aid.
Students came out to support the cause with welcoming and open mindsets. With other autistic students in the audience, everyone felt comfortable enough to share their own stories, and even asking Robert any questions they may have. Sociology instructor Professor Helfing gave his thoughts on Robert's speech.
Having somebody articulate their own personal world that is fraught with a certain amount of insecurity and not happy endings, although actually it seemed like he was on his way for that, was really wonderful and encouraging. But it brings up all sorts of things of frailties and secrets and family instabilities that all came from that. So I appreciate the bravery that he had in doing that, and his ability to see that and overcome it. His self-reflection of dealing with that is remarkable.
Robert's encouraging words can give hope to all facing any battle they may be going through. That anything is possible if you set your heart to it, remembering that we are all humans with morals and feelings.
I take my classes down before everybody else does, and I get help getting private tutoring.
For more information on autism, you can visit autismspeaks.org. I'm Thais White with Cougar News.
A baby lamb went missing from a Newhall school this week, causing concern to school staff. Clover, a 6-week-old lamb, a classroom friend, was rescued by a town and country farm school teacher, Denise Vale, after the lamb was rejected by its mother on the day she was born. Vale said that students had grown close to the lamb and was expected to take part in the class picture next week. Clover was last seen on Sunday night and was found missing from her pen on Monday morning when workers arrived to feed her. The disappearance remains a mystery, after Vale said there were no signs of animal struggle or human involvement, and stressed that the school has never had individuals take animals before. Clover requires special care for her health, which includes being bottle-fed special milk several times a day, leading to the school staff worrying about her safety. Students have not been told of Clover's disappearance yet, and faculty remain hopeful she will return to the school campus safely. Laptops, cell phones, keys, and other personal items are being held in hope of their owner's return. Lost items are turned into COC's Lost and Found inside the campus safety office. Currently, an entire room is dedicated to those forgotten items. Director Campus Safety, Tammy Castor, says there are expensive items, some possibly with a sentimental value, from an engraved vintage Lord Eldon watch to pricey guitar still in its case. There are many items awaiting their owner's return. If you happen to have lost an item, call Campus Safety Office at 661-362-3229. That will do it for this edition of Cougar Newsbrief. I'm Timmy Ty Oshalesi. For more news, check us out on the web at cougarnews.com.